Hello, hello, hello. Happy Memorial Day today. It is May 29th, 2023, and it's Memorial Day already. The year is just going. Okay, so we have a special for you today. We have a series that's been highly requested, and I'm going to try to get through this. There was some technical difficulties, but it's always like that when you have something really good to present. So stay tuned. This is the Adroit Living section of the Erudition Network, and I want you to understand that I don't have any control over the technical difficulties, but we're going to work through them, okay? So stay tuned. What is this? I'm here for more questions. Yes, that is what we're going to talk about today, Mike. Thank you for joining and stay tuned because I got you. I got you. And it's some treats in here, some tips and trips, some tips and tricks. Okay, well, let me say it. Oh, thank you, Eddie. Okay, so with Adroit Living, what we try to do is help people to live more cleverly and skillfully with your hands and just use what you have to make what you want or at least what you need. So today we're going to talk about self-soothing and one of the methods of self-soothing that I like to do, and I know a lot of people like, but they may not know how to get started or get it going. Is aquariums like this one here, and we have to add the aquarium to the stream. There we go. There we go. So that's a better view of it. So we since the last show, I made some modifications, put some lava rocks in, and Teddy's here to help me so we can get these things a little bit more visible to you so you can see everything. Now I'm going to show you everything you want to know, everything you need to see in the slides. Okay? Yes, if things go wrong. I know, right? But this time it's not the producers, it's just technical difficulties. You know, technical difficulties meaning StreamYard isn't working right, meaning sometimes the fish may not be acting right, but this time we don't have the discus behind us, so everything's going better. And yes, thank you, Teddy and Eddie. They're both always back there making sure that when I have technical difficulties, meaning with the computers, with the software, with the fish, those guys are always there to help out. So if it's a technical difficulty with the fish, Teddy will throw some fish food in there and calm them down. Like, okay, don't jump out at me. Just give them some food. Give them some food. Okay, you love this. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you up close and personal, everything in detail, so you can modify your arrangement so it can be like this one. Now, one of the major things that I've seen with people is they want an aquarium, but it's too expensive. They want an aquarium, but it's difficult. It's a lot of it's a workout. Now, I thought about putting on some workout gear and getting online and say, yeah, this is a workout because you're on your feet. But I figured out a way that it doesn't have to necessarily be a strain. So here we go. We're going right into it. Okay. So this is going to be talking about self-soothing. As an industrial organizational psychologist, this is what I do. I take what people present to me. I see what's wrong, how things are going wrong, what it is that they want, and then I figure it out. And I'm going to do this for you all for free today. So just this one example of what I do on a so with an aquarium, people say, well, I would like an aquarium, but they cost too much. Well, Petco has every now and again, once a year, they do a 20-gallon aquarium all the way up to from 10 gallon, maybe even 5 gallons to 55 gallons, $1 a gallon. So you can always catch that sale and even email them and ask them, when are you going to have such a sale so I can take part in it. But right now, Petco has it where a 20-gallon is like $46. So you can always go and just pick that up. And it's just the aquarium, it's nothing else. Now, we've shown you that in the last video. So I'm not going to show you again in this video. So please refer back to those videos because they all build on top of each other. So make sure you check that out. Now, after you obtain the aquarium, now you want to know how do I get all of this stuff and like Mike said, I didn't know that they can mail you. They will ship it via FedEx, via UPS, but not USPS because that is not a reliable source to get you live fish when you want it. So, and you definitely want them to be alive when you get them. So we're gonna go right over to the aquarium and see this aquarium is only 20 gallons. It may look like it's more, but it is not more. And I'm gonna get into the presentation now. Um, this aquarium has that the black in the back is actually a part of the filtration system. So we're gonna move over to the filter, and so you can see what that looks like. Let me see if I can get it in there. There we go. So the filter is actually, let me see, I think we got, there we go. This is what the filter looks like, and it's very easy. You just put your air hose onto it. These are the components of it. Um, the filter, the size got a little messed up. Now, see, this is what I meant by um, the technical difficulty because the thing got all messed up. So now we got to see how can we fix that. It's okay though because I am still working it. Okay, so while we're still waiting to see, I guess we're gonna have to get into that detail in a later part. I wish I had one that I could just show you, but the slides got all messed up because StreamYard kind of limits um, your ability to be as professional as you could be in a regular, situation. So that sort of sucks. But we're gonna show you as much as I can. This is a filtration system. It's a small handheld. As you can see, he's holding it with his hands, and it's easy to take apart, easy to put together. And these little chambers underneath, you can put some different types of filtration in it at the bottom. What I like to do is I like to put a little activated carbon down there because those um, those little compartments can contain a little activated carbon or it can hold the media balls. But the sponge is already a source of filtration, so you don't really need to do that. So you could just do it that way. So you're filtering out the aquarium. The sponge adds a positive bacteria in there that the fish are going to need so that they can maintain healthy lifestyle and not get sick. Hey, Sean Anthony, thank you for coming. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. What'd you say? Please like, share. Yes, please like, share, and subscribe. Even though there's been technical difficulties, don't worry. This is a series. We're going to get it right, and you're going to see the entire thing. Nope, don't worry about it. So anyway, so the filtration system is a large part of your system that's keeping the fish happy and keeping everything clean. In this aquarium, you can see that that black filter back there is hiding the filter I just showed you. Why is it hiding it? Because it's adding more filtration, and that's what you want, so you don't have to get in there and clean it. So what did I mean by easy aquarium? One that you don't have to clean so often. One you don't have to get in there and change the water like all the time. Who wants to change the water all the time? I know I don't. So one of the things that I do um, is I have this vacuum. It's a no lifting vacuum. So you can vacuum the dirt out of the aquarium into a bucket that you set on the floor. And in that bucket, all the water that's coming from the aquarium, all the dirt that's coming from there is going to go right into that bucket. And you don't have to lift the bucket. That's the best part of it. Now, in this picture, you can see the bucket. In that bucket, don't lift the bucket. Just put that pump, that green pump, into the bucket, and it attaches to a hose where you can then put the water into your yard. Like I put mine into my yard. I also put my hose into. You can put it in the tub if you live in an apartment or you live in a place where you can't get to a yard or You could take the water and water plants. You could take the water and do a number of things with it because that's liquid gold, believe it or not. And, I don't know what that's about, and y'all do what y'all want to do with that. I don't have nothing to do with that. But anyway, um, okay. So anyway, so if you put the pump in the bucket, it's going to take all the lifting out of the work for you. So you can definitely have this aquarium or any size aquarium that you want. We're going to continue to get into that. Now, a part of the filtration system is the plants. Imagine that. How are plants a part of the filtration system? Well, plants remove um, like the dirt that the fish are pooping and peeing and all that kind of stuff. All of that stuff is soaking it up. That's food for the plants. That's food for your garden and your lawn and your anything that's living that requires watering and food and nourishment. It's going to get that from aquarium water. So that aquarium water is gold. Put that into some stuff and see how that works out for you. It's doing wonders for my green grass. Let me tell you, you can pour it on seeds, your grass seeds as well. You can pour it on small bushes, and it's going to help them to grow and flourish. And it's going to be very strong. It's going to have a great root system, and you might even win the best yard in the neighborhood award. But anyway, so back to the filter. Now, a lot of people were asking about my downstairs, and with that one, a aquarium, and it's normally behind me. And I work from home, so it's a lot more it's easily accessible for me to sit behind there, do my meetings, and not behind it, but in front of it, conduct meetings, do presentations, or whatever it is I have to do. And they don't have to sit there and look at my face all day. Now that's the best part, because they can look at the background, they can look at the fish. Just as long as they listen to the presentation, I don't care. So that's a good part, and it looks professional, so your clients feel like, oh, this is definitely a business that I feel comfortable patronizing, and something about it makes me want to patronize it. And it's the fish, it's that atmosphere the fish is bringing in, because there's something self-soothing about it, it's something relaxing about it, and people really are drawn to it. So that aquarium, it looks it has these sponge filters in them, and these sponge filters are it comes in different um, concentrations so that the detritus from your aquarium can move through them. And Amazon has them for different price points and different sizes. And this is the measurements on there that you're looking for. Now, underneath the aquarium that you normally see in my videos, is this sump system. Now, when you get to 200-gallon aquariums, you're going to want to have something that's more reliable. And then this filtration system, you can see aquarium stocks are helping to filter the water out and keep it clean. But you do have to change them a little bit more frequently than you do the smaller aquariums, because those aquarium stocks get pretty dirty pretty fast. But the sponges, they don't get dirty as fast as the filter socks. Now, this is a pump, and once you get to having a really large aquarium, this is the kind of aquarium pump you're going to want to have. So, when you're ready to invest in a much larger pump, it's going to get a little bit more technical and scientific uh, type of high tech type of stuff that you're going to, oh man, I didn't know. And if you're into that sort of thing, you're going to love it. But this is the aquarium as it came. Hey Eddie, thank you for the aquarium. See Eddie's over there trying to unpack the aquarium. That's the aquarium that you normally see in the back of my show. Now it came custom made, and it came in these parts. where we just put the parts together, very easy to put together, and it had a subsystem under there that did not require me to do any work other than to just connect all these parts together. And all these parts connected to that pump and went back up into the aquarium, and that's how it works. Now, there, in this picture, you see some rocks. Those rocks are the medium, but I replaced some of those with matrix so that because it's more porous, to help to contain the anaerobic bacteria or the good bacteria. Like, do my fish do aerobics? No, your fish don't do aerobics. This is the good bacteria that you want your fish to have so that they can stay healthy. But what I did was I modified it and I put some those filter long filters that I showed you in there. Now the reason why I did that is because those filters are filtering out far more effectively than what you saw there. That's why I showed you the black filters first, so you can understand this is a method that works for a large aquarium just as well as it works for a small aquarium. But in my opinion, it kind of works better for a smaller aquarium because I don't know if I can get the view any clearer. This is how much water has evaporated since Monday, the last Monday show. But I'm going to show you an easy way to fix that without having to lift any water. So, like I said, this is going to be easy. But the bigger aquarium, you'd be concerned about leaks. Well, this is a refugium. This refugium does not allow the leaks to occur. Why? Because it's an empty container that sits under the aquarium system. So there's if the electricity, if you're having technical difficulties and the electricity goes out, or the system stops, or that pump that I showed you goes out. Now let me tell you about that pump. That pump, they have excellent customer service, and they will send you a replacement, no problem. So that's definitely worth the investment. I love that pump because that's the heart of the aquarium because it's keeping everything going. It's like your heart pumps blood and keeps life going. That's what that pump does, and it keeps the life going. So these guys are happy. Now this is what it looks like under there. That's a food grade um, system underneath there so that the fish are not getting that system isn't growing algae, it's not growing anything that you don't want, and it's easy to clean. It's just wipe and you're done. You take the water out, and again you use that same method where you take the siphon and you pump the instead of you pumping it in out of the aquarium, you're actually pumping it out of the sump, and you vacuum all of that out of there into that bucket, and you put this green pump inside of the bucket, and that pump should be attached to a hose so that you can push all that water either down your drain directly, or you can push it um, into your grass, your lawn and garden, wherever you want to put that water. That's some good water. You don't want to waste that water, if at all possible. But if you have to waste it, hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? So, um, one of the things you wanted to know about the aquarium hobby is how to make it easier. So, not lifting that water by using these pumps, that's an invaluable lesson that you have right there. Now, in the very first show, I showed you how you could get um, a, a water thing. Teddy, can you give me that water thing over there? I'm going to have to show you because due to the technical difficulties, the slides did not go through. So I'm going to have to show you physically. Isn't that wonderful how we get to be so physical on that show? Get that blue bucket over there and that the setup that we had. Um, so with this setup, you're going to see exactly how to put all of this together to make it work. 'Cause I'm a model it for you because unfortunately the pictures and the slides didn't come out properly. So uh, Teddy has quite a journey to get to, I guess. Let me get that, Teddy. So I'm going to show you so you can see. Hey, let's get to the comments. Hey, Eric, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you something. Okay, so this thing here, it has two holes. One, you could put the air hose down into the container. You can put a, uh, what does the comment say? Sorry, I'm trying to juggle. Okay, so you could put it like this, or you don't necessarily need the air stone, but this air stone will help to filter out some of anything if you got some grit or something down there from your water. You do not have to treat this water with your aquarium water. Um, so this can just be plain water that you have. Sorry about that. I am not sponsored by anybody, so I'm not trying to advertise to anybody. But this is how you hold it. This is a very large handle, and you can hold the thing like this, but you don't have to pick it up. I'm going to show you why. So um, you set this empty container wherever you want it, and once it's there, you take that same green pump with the hose attached to it and put it inside of the bucket with water. And then you turn the pump on, and the other end of the hose you have inside of here. So it fills this up without you ever having to pick any water up. Now, the other hose here, that air hose goes into your aquarium. And once it's in your aquarium, you turn this on, you set it for however long you want, however many days you want, whatever it is, the settings that you want. And that pumps the water right into your aquarium without you ever having to pick anything up. So now you know how to have the aquarium to fill it up. Now there's other devices that you can purchase that's not like this. This is a moisten land a pump. It's supposed to be for plants, but I take what I get. I take all the information that I get from everything. I learn from everything, so I'm not just exclusive to one um, one method of learning and application. If it's practical, I'm going to apply that to anything and everything. So I don't have to say, oh, okay, well, that's just used for, I remember. You remember when they had weekend cameras and everybody was writing the company saying, well, can I use this camera during the week? Can So they had to change the name of the camera from weekend camera to just an instant camera. So yeah, you don't have to use what did you say? What kind of fish do you have? I'm going to get into all of that. The easiest fish there are. Where I know, right? They're everywhere. Let me see if I can get the aquarium cam back on. Uh oh. I think the aquarium cam went off. But anyway, here we go. I add that back there so you can see them. Okay, so um, what do we have? Now before I had moved those fish from this aquarium. There's guppies, there's snails, there's all kinds of fish in there. I moved them from that aquarium, and it was only 8 gallons, to this 20-gallon aquarium because I wanted to make sure I could show you an example of how that goes. So, with that being said, that's the aquarium upgrade. So it's not a fresh aquarium, it's not a new aquarium. And how did I do that? Well, I did it because I just took the water out of the old aquarium, pumped it directly into this aquarium, and you do not, once again, you don't have to do any lifting. But I have sons, so I didn't do any lifting at all. The boys, they picked it up and they did what was necessary so that I could get all the fish out of there and put it in there. But you can use the same method of changing water and refilling water that I showed you. You do not have to lift the water. And I know for a lot of people, their mobility isn't what it used to be, or it's not that they want to be challenged in that way. And this is a perfect way that you don't have to be challenged in that way. So there's also a filtration system that came along with that, and this is what it looks like. It's and that pole there caused a waterfall, and it had a very small chamber for the filtration system. So I did not use that. I used some sponge filters instead. And then it had this light. The light broke under a year. The customer service was terrible. See the last video where I showed you and where I divulged that information. And these were the sponge filters that I use because you can attach your air hose right into there, and the fish are getting air and they're getting filtration. So that was sufficient for an 8-gallon aquarium, and that aquarium was way too costly for the size of it and the functionality, especially considering how you had to modify it. So this filter is the filter that I use for the 20-gallon aquariums, and this is the filter that I would highly recommend that you use. They come in different sizes, and you can modify them very easily. Here are some functions of it. So, and here's some size measurements. And Amazon, I'm not sponsored by Amazon, but they're the ones that's helping do the most and get the most done, get the most products to the customers in the most efficient way. So that's why I highly recommend them. But these are the various things that you can put in the filter, and that's why I like this filtration system. Once you connect your air hose to the little straw on the side of the little torpedo thing, you can see um, how it works. It just pushes the air down into that little straw, and then the air pulls all the dirt out through those sponges, and you can put whatever media you want at the bottom, and that is for the extra sponges. It comes with extra sponges, which I like. I know what I did was I cut just a one ring off of that just to modify it so I can have a little bit of that sponge in there so that I can put some activated carbon below it and put the sponge there so it acts as the media and the filtration. And what does activated carbon do? It makes sure that your aquarium doesn't smell. My aquariums never smell, and I always have them in the most, um, well, where I want them. So you can do it too. And here is where it shows you how the air pump connects to the little straw on the side, and it's showing you a good picture of how that works. And this is an awesome way to help your sanitation engineers keep your aquarium clean. And I must say that your pump is very, it's one of the things that you're going to pay the most money for, whereas that filter is very affordable. The pump, however, is what you're looking for. The Normally, people they suggest a water pump in order to do that and have this big sponge filter in the back, like I have here. But this is a method so that it's um, easier, so it doesn't leak, so you don't have issues with having a whole lot of technical difficulties, having a whole lot of things, parts and pieces that you got to put together yourself, having potentials that is going to shoot water as a projectile all over the place, and now everything smells like fish and everything's wet. So this is the workaround to that. Now the air pump is something you want to be strong so that it pushes the water enough time so that the water is constantly filtering, so it's keeping up with the bio load of however many fish you have in there. Now, this aquarium is definitely overstocked. Um, and what do I mean by overstocked? That means I have a whole lot of stuff in there, a whole lot of fish in there. It's a lot going on. There's cherry red shrimp, there's hill stream loaches, there's guppies, and guppies are going to have a million babies, and those babies are going to have a million babies. And there's two Cory catfish. There's some also some loaches that you might not be able to see there. But the loaches are necessary so it can get all through, shift through the gravel, so that it can get all the dirt and all the grime and everything that's falling in between there. And the plants are essential as well because they're going to help to filter the aquarium. So that's why I also have aquarium plants inside the aquarium, not just the pothos on the back that's also helping to filter the aquarium, and it's providing oxygen for me and clean air for me, and it's keeping the moisture level up uh, to an acceptable level. Before I had the aquarium in my son's room, he would always have problems with dry air. But we put the aquariums in there, put the pothos on there, no more problems and no more humidifiers. If you want to get rid of your humidifier and stop paying all that ridiculous money for the filters because you can't never find like what filter size should I use and what does it no, just get an aquarium, a nice 20-gallon aquarium, and guess what? Follow these steps, and you'll have yourself a visual treat, and it'll help with the air quality. So that's what I recommend. So here they're showing you exactly how to put it on, how to attach it, and how it works again. And again, I would strongly advise you replace the media balls with something that's more porous. Maybe some lava rocks, maybe some, actually just use the sponge that it comes with. So you don't even have to purchase anything extra. Maybe some activated carbon. It'd be about the only thing you really have to purchase separately. So outside of that, if you want to use the media balls, you can, but I really don't see the purpose of the media balls that comes with it. I don't see the purpose of it because the sponge is really, really awesome. You could put some matrix balls in there if you want. It's really porous, but let me see if I can show you what I mean by the matrix balls. Um, wait a minute. First, let's see this. This is the substrate that I have in there. The substrate is um, kind of costly, especially depending on where you get it from, but it's important. Some people like to build the substrate up to about 3 inches or more. The reason for that is so that the roots to your plants will have somewhere to go and grow. I don't do that because I use plants that do not really require you to have a whole lot of substrate because you know it kind of, in my opinion, it takes up a lot of real estate in the aquarium, and it kind of makes it look like, oh, a lot of the real estate is gone, is missing, and you really want more fish than you do substrate. That's just me. So I don't know. You can modify yours as you will. Each substrate has a different price point, so make sure you are checking for um, sales and coupons and things like that. And each store, PetSmart and Petco, each have their own brand, and I would not mix it, even if they came from the same store. I wouldn't mix the substrate because then you'll have two-tone colors, and it might not look as nice as you would like for it to look. It won't have that unity that you'll be looking for. So in this aquarium, in this 20-gallon aquarium, I'm just using the 15 um, ounce bag of, wait, go back to it. This, I don't know, you might think it may need more, but the very first one, the I'm using that one because I wanted to try it and see how it works. Sometimes things don't work like you think, but it was fine with gravel. And you've seen my aquariums. Um, you can work with just plain gravel, and you can grow your plants, and they'll still be beautiful plants. Now, there's another way you can put plants in your aquarium too. It's this thing. Now, the reason why I selected this is because the suction cup on sometimes on items it doesn't hold, but this suction cup has a twist around it where you can modify it a bit so it'll hold, and you can put this anywhere on your aquarium that you want inside the aquarium, or you can just have it to hold the roots to whatever plant that you have inside the aquarium holding on and hanging out. If you want to put the pothos fruits inside of here, you can. And you can just make sure that it doesn't float around or move or fall out of the aquarium. But it'll also provide a place for your fish babies to hide, grow, or feed. Sometimes the shrimp like to go over there and eat, or any kind of algae eaters. These suction cups I saw separately. They are awesome. I love these suction cups, and this is an example of what they are. And again, Amazon. I'm not sponsored by anybody. This is a labor of love that I do, and I'm just giving it to you like it is, so you can help self-soothe yourself. So those those suction cups are really great. They're stronger than anything I've seen thus far, and I've been in the hobby for quite a number of years. I don't want to date myself, but it's close to 30 years now. So uh, north of yeah. So anyway, so this is something that you can help to tell the temperature. You keep this outside now. I've shown you this in my videos, and I believe I have it here as well. If I can add it to the stream, um, I'll show you. It's right here, and this little thing tells you. Oh, it's not going to tell you because it's a little backwards. But that tells you what the temperature is, and it comes in a 4 pack. I would strongly recommend getting the 4 pack because the price point difference is not as much as you would think, and then you have to buy batteries and things like that. So just get the 4 pack, and when instead of replacing the batteries, replace the whole thing. And then once you run out of them, guess what? Now you buy the batteries. So that's just me. That's just one of the things I like to do. Just thinking outside the box. Like, how can I save money? How can I spend my money wisely? How can I turn a dime to $1 million? That's what I do for businesses, and that's what I do for people, individuals. So this is um, just one of those things. I think you'll love it, but that's just me. So this is the measurement as you saw in my hand is very small. And that little thing, the black part goes into the water. That suction cup is not good. So the suction cups that I showed you before, if you want that to stay down in there, you can either put it behind some substrate or underneath some decor that you may have in there. Maybe you could put it behind some of those lava rocks, some of the plants or something, so that it can just stay in there, so they can continue to tell you what the temperature is. But you can also use those suction cups, and that'll work as well. But then there's also a suction cup on the back of it, and again, that suction cup does not work very well. But the little battery back there, it's a little difficult to get that out of there. But once you get it out and in, is good. But you don't have to do that initially because it comes already charged and everything's good, so you don't have to worry about that. So I would strongly suggest you get the 4 pack. They do come in singles, but you'll see the singles are like $8. And for a couple of dollars more, you could have just bought the 4 pack. So definitely when you're on Amazon, look around. Definitely read the comments because I do leave reviews. I give it some time and I leave honest reviews on social media as well as at any company that I patronize. I'm always leaving a review because as a consumer, I want to know. I want to know the truth, and I want to know is it worth the money that I'm paying for it. And a lot of times, I'll tell you in my comments what I paid for it, just like I'm telling you in this presentation. So here, this is the heater that I use in my aquariums. Not this one because this one came as a package deal, and I wanted to show you what came in that. I showed you in the last video, so make sure you check that out. But this is the actual filter you want to use. Why? Because it tells you what the temperature is that you're at, and that's what you want to know. You don't want to have to look at the little thingy and hope and pray that it's working right and oh, did it tell me the right? You don't want to do that. You want to look at that heater and see. and you want to verify it with that little gadget because anything could go wrong. So here you will also see that Amazon has them on sale at different price points and each one does different things. So you want to make sure that you have what you need for the size of the aquarium that you need. So I want to ask, what size should I start with? Um, I started with a 30 gallon for not very long before Eddie brought over that really large 75-gallon aquarium. I'll show you again here. Um, and then it was the same as it was with the with 30 gallon. It's just bigger, so I can have bigger fish, so I can house more fish, or so that I don't have to clean it as often. So it's all according to you. I wouldn't tell you what's a good size for you or not. You just have to kind of work it out and see what is your price point, see how much everything costs you, and see what it is you're willing to do. Okay, so here you see some aquarium salt. Some people may think that with freshwater fish, you don't add any, aquarium salt in it. But aquarium salt can actually act as a medicine for your fish. So it has really easy to read directions on the back of there, and you're only adding in one little. Get yourself a disposable spoon and get a scoop of spoon. And it's one little plastic spoonful for every 5 gallons if you're going to use it. And you don't have to. You can still do this without that. But if you have a much bigger aquarium, consider this. It's general cure. Now, I would definitely wait for a sale. Amazon had it on sale, and this is the price I paid. But it's more at other times. It can be extremely costly because that works. That is some that's like crack or something. I don't know. What do they call what do they call it? When you have when people get sick in the African American community, they just give you what was that what was that called? Robitussin. That's that's cures. I highly recommend you get some. It's more expensive, in my opinion, if you get it from like Petco or PetSmart in those little pouches because it's good to have it on hand. Even if you don't use it, it's good to have it. And here's the directions for that. You can see that it's practical. And instead of buying a whole bunch of different types of medicine, I wouldn't waste my time. I would just go ahead and get the one that works and pay the money and just enjoy the fish. It doesn't take long to treat your fish. And there's this thing called velvet. It's a blackness that comes on your fish and it's extremely contagious. And when you buy your fish from like Petco or PetSmart or big chains, it's a very high risk for you having a disease or introducing a disease to your fish. So I would strongly recommend that you be very cautious and keep some general cure on hand. It's worth it, in my opinion. Now, as for the air pumps that you may want to purchase, this is a nice pump. It's an affordable price at Petco. And again, these places have sales so that they have these discounts and things like that, but you can find it on Amazon. So shop around. But what you want is for this aquarium, I I'm going to have to upgrade it from the pump that I had previously because I want that water turning over faster. I want that filtering out faster. So even though I have all these algae eaters and all these custodial engineers, I just want something faster. And this pump is very useful, and it again sells at different price points. So the most remember, this is the heart of the aquarium. It's pumping out the life to your aquarium. And that's what you want it to do. So you may want to pay a little bit extra. And if you try other things, make sure you keep your receipt. You might need it. But here, it shows you that you can take it apart and maintenance it, and that's what I love. Check out my other videos about the fish feeders and how you can take those apart and things so you can see what's going on with it. So you're spending all this money for this device, and something goes wrong with it. You want to find out what's wrong. And can I fix it? Yes, you can. And it's very easy, very simple. And a lot of times people have this stuff on YouTube and you can just go right in there and fix it. No problem, easy peasy. It was just some dust. You blew it out and it's over and it's back to being workable again. So here, this is one of the air wands that I put in my various aquariums to keep a lot of oxygen in the aquariums. Why do you want to keep so much oxygen in the aquarium? Fish breathe water, not oxygen. Water is made of oxygen, and these water boxes they restricting the oxygen to just that little box. So you definitely want to make sure that you have enough air going into your water box, the aquarium. Now this hose has a lot of different holes on it, so that you can see it's pushing air through a lot of air throughout the entire hose. And that's useful because it's not just coming from one point or another, it's coming from the entire line. The reason why the filter that I showed you that connects to the air hose is a good idea is because all that oxygen is still getting into the water and it's also working to filter the water. So you have a two in one, but it's always good to add an extra one if you can. Now, what you want to do is you want to also add on one of these check valves on the air hose so that the water doesn't siphon back through the pipe and then start to go wherever you have that hose leading out of your aquarium. This check valve in the middle here will stop the water from backflowing. So that is an essential item that you want to have. And that's another reason why you want to make sure that your air pump is a strong pump. So it's going to push through there enough air so that you can get air in it, but it doesn't come back out. And again, those are just precautions to have. And here's something that I purchased, and you can definitely see you can get it on sale sometimes. So check for those sales, look for my reviews, and see how much I paid for them. But this package is a great package. I like it because the black hose allows the check valve to stay in place, whereas some of the other check valves it comes off. The hose, the clear hose, I've tried the clear hoses and they do not work as well as this hose does. So I strongly recommend you get that. But I would also recommend that you use wisdom, exercise wisdom, and maybe get it from somewhere else. And if you have some problems getting the air hose to connect to the check valve and stay on, you can use some Teflon tape or just get a lighter. I know, right? Get a lighter, hold it on there, let that plastic melt and mold to it just a little bit. The hose melt onto the check valve a little bit. You may not want to play with fire, but if you're an adult, you might want to give it a try. It may be effective. Here's another air pump. Now, this air pump, I love it because when you have technical difficulties, like I often do, this air pump will make sure that your fish are getting oxygen. This is a battery operated air pump and it constantly pumps air. So as soon as it recognizes that you're having technical difficulties, it comes on, it immediately starts to pump air to your fish. So your fish will have sufficient air. When you have plants in there, that's helping with oxygen, but it also requires something back. And the fish needs to push out that carbon so that the plants can have that to keep going and everything keeps going properly. And if you have that pump connected to something, I would strongly suggest you, in the event of technical difficulties, you just have that going all by itself because the batteries are they may not be strong enough to push through the air filter that I showed you. So the air filter that I showed you, um, maybe get a backup battery system. I would strongly suggest the solar powered so that you can charge it and swap it out at will. And that way you only pay once. You pay for it to be a solar panel battery operated system and then you replace it. And it's a much better option than paying for something that's got to be replaced because it's not solar powered. Now, the hose that I suggest that you attach to the green pump when you're pumping water out to and from is this hose here. Now this is a very good hose. It's non-toxic. It's good flexibility, but it may cost you depending on where you get it from. Now, I like the hose that's the Python that you can get from like in any pet store. It's a Python siphon that you automatically connect to your um, sink faucet, and it uses water and the momentum of water to pull the water out of your aquarium and to push water into your aquarium. However, I don't suggest it because it's using a lot of water needlessly and it's wasting water. So, but the hose that's on there is still awesome. So if you have one of those, don't throw away those parts. Those parts are still usable. They're usable as this kind of hose where you can attach to your air pump, no, your water pumps to pump in water and pump out water. And this is the dimensions for it. Now you want to make sure you have the right hose because there's different types of pumps and different types of fixtures for those pumps. And yes, I have different ones. So this one, it gives you the measurements and you attach that hose onto this pump and you set the thing down into a bucket, or I would not suggest you put it into tub. Don't put it in the tub and don't put it in the sink. Excuse me. If you put it in the tub or you put it in the sink, you're gonna have um you can have some bacteria in there. So don't do that. Okay. And here's another. So we're almost out of time, so I'm going to definitely get you this pump. Now this is the pump that I use for those big aquariums. Oh, this is an awesome pump. It pumps so fast and it gets that water out of there. 30 minutes, 45 minutes, we're done for the day. So I attach that hose right there onto that, and it right onto the top of here where you see the fingers and swiveling it off. I do not take that attachment off because that's the attachment that you want to put the hose to. And this is definitely a great filter. That I mean pump. That's why I'm showing it and I recommend it. Again, you could take it apart, see the functionality, clean it. If something gets stuck in there, you can easily get it out. It has a small mesh um, filter in there. Here's the science behind it. If you're one of those people that likes to see the science behind it and the measurements, this is a great pump to have, especially if you have um, a 55-gallon or more aquarium where that's going to be able to facilitate the water. Now, what I would strongly suggest is that you get one of those black filters that I showed you, and put it on the end of that hose that the water is coming out of, so that water pressure doesn't cause a typhoon in your water box in your aquarium. Because that pump is fast, it's strong, it is awesome. Don't take it lightly. So uh, definitely grab you one of those if you can. Now, one of the filtration systems that I have on that I started originally with my aquarium, and you can also put on such an aquarium as your 20-gallon aquarium. Now, the uh, filter that I have on this one is there's more options. The option that came with it, again, see last Monday's video for it. It was a filter that hangs on the back that looks a lot like this one. Now, this one is a different one. This is a Title 110 by CCAM. Now, would I suggest it? I, 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 I really wouldn't because I've had better, um, and this one is the better one. This one is the original one that I had with that 75-gallon aquarium. And yes, it was over filtering with that 75-gallon aquarium. Even with this 20-gallon aquarium, this is over filtering because I have a lot of fish in there and it has a lot of bio load in there. And I wanted to filter out a lot so I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do anything but look at it and maybe top it off. And I showed you how to top it off. Now, this uh, filter system. I love it because it's easy to fix. You don't really, it has never malfunctioned on me. It's easy to fix it up, it's easy to modify it. You put the cartridges in, it shows you exactly how, and you can still modify it because there's still room in there for you to be able to modify it. So you could put sponges in there. You could put carbon activated carbon bags in there, and it'll filter the aquarium for far longer than what it would with just those filter cartridges, those blue filter cartridges alone. These are great filter cartridges, mind you, but I don't want to have to constantly pay a lot of money to keep getting those filters. It's like maybe $20, and the price keeps going up. Now I've been in the hobby for almost 30 years, and it's like you keep seeing these prices go up and down and fluctuate this way and that way, and it's like, man, I just want everything to be still. So this is why I'm strongly suggesting the sponges, because the sponges, you can clean those sponges, they're gonna last forever. You can use the activated carbon, get bags and put the activated carbon in, and guess what? You can rinse and repeat. As long as it's working, you can continue to rinse it. Now, me, I I was a college student all my life, so when I had the aquarium, I used to rinse these filter cartridges off and wash that dirt off, put them right back in there, and boom, it's going. And these bio wheels, these wheels on the front of it, those spin along with the water, and they're catching the good bacteria and keeping the I know this is gonna sound bad, but the bacteria that you need is keeping that in there so that when you're changing the water is not new. So it kind of acts like the sponge. So the water isn't fresh because the fish need some of their own stank on it. You know what I'm saying? So that requires something to hold all of their old dirt on it so it can process all the clean water to make the water livable and keep their living arrangement nice and tidy for them. Now it's very easy. You just unplug it, take it off the back of your aquarium, and you pour the water out, or you don't have to do that. Just take a picture, put the cartridges in the picture, and whatever else you have in there, take it out, put it into the pitcher, take it over to your sink, rinse it off, put it back into the box. You don't even have to, pick up the big old thing and carry it to the sink. But you can use that same siphon hose that I showed you to put into that system, suck that water out, and it's clean. The same thing with the title. You it has a basket inside where you just take the whole basket out and you use the lid as the tray to carry it over. It's not heavy at all. And one thing I do like about the title is that the motor is inside of the water. It's that water line on the outside of it. However, if you're going to put the motor on the outside, you should put the motor down further so that the motor is not making noise that can scare discus to death. Yeah, that's why I don't recommend it, because I was really upset about, well, that's a really great company. They use extremely intelligent people to modify and make modifications and to improve like their fish diet and the fish food and their fish environment and the filters. They do a great job. However, the reason why I don't recommend it is because it killed one of my fish. And had I not caught the problem sooner, it would have killed more fish. And the discus are the king of the freshwater aquarium. So definitely don't want to kill those guys. So I think that it's still some modifications that need to be done with that. That's why I do not suggest it, and I do suggest this other one, even though this is not, the motor is inside of the system. Now, the water, if you have technical difficulties and the electricity go out on your aquarium, that pump it may or may not get kicked back up again, because and it's going to make a lot of noise because it's trying, the motor is running and it's dry. So you want to make sure that the water stays, the power stays on so that the pump can continue to work. Otherwise, you're going to have no filtering going on in your aquarium, which is another reason why I strongly suggest you get maybe two of them and put them on so you'll have one of each. So one is a backup. Yes, I did that, and that's why I ended up trying the title 110, and that's how I discovered that I really don't like it. But I tried it, so I wanted to make sure I tell you about it. Now, that's it. That's all I have time for today for the Monday show. So stay tuned. I'm going to continue this series today. I'm going to finish it. So you stay tuned for the live viewers, and for those who are just watching the recording, just click the next video. Okay, so remember, mental health is physical wealth. See you next episode.